welcome back my YouTube channel. Let's learn English with Khushi. Today we are going to read British poetry maker 1 MA English IGNOU poem, and this is our first poem of Andrew Marvell, and the poem name is To His Quiet Mysteries. First and foremost, I think I should talk about the writer, the author. I think writer Andrew Marvell. Why did he write these poems? He wrote these poems of his beloved. Beloved actually, she didn't want to make a love with him due to shyness. So this is one of the reasons to make him write a poem. If I talk about the author Andrew Marvell, so this poem is written on 1621 to 1678, and it is also an English metaphysical poet, politician, and satirist. He was born in Wingstead in Holderness, and he is the best known for his wit, intellectual depth, use of conceits, extended metaphors, and blending of passion with logical argument. Marvell also served as a member of parliament and was associated with John Milton, assisting him after the restorations. His famous poems includes To His Quiet Mysteries, other is The Garden, and next poem. Uh, and another poem is also, but right now I can't recall. But yeah, Marvel's poetry reflects the future of metaphysically poetry, be it paradox, elaborates imaginary, philosophical reflections, and dramatic argument. Now let's read line by line poem and explain in English, simple English. So this poem is a carp. Actually, the speaker tries to pursue his shyness. Shy. Shy. Here it is written quiet. We love to accept his love before time and death overtake them. The poem has a three sessions. So if there were a limited lines 1 to 20, reality time is short, and that is at certain lines. Okay, therefore let us enjoy love now, line by line. Okay, so in first line, it says, had we but world enough and time, this quietness lady were no crime. It means the writer says that if we had a unlimited time and space, then your quietness, your shyness would not be wrong. It is really right, but now we had no times. And next line, the speaker says, we would sit down and think which way to walk and pass our long love's day. Thus the writer says, we would relax and and decided how to spend our long life of love. Where do we spend this time, and how could we make this love wonderfully, but as we had no time. Now next line, though by the Indian Ganga's side shouldn't rubies find, I by the tide of Humber would complain. In this line, poet says, you could stay by the exhaustic river Ganga's symbols of beauty and richness, and I would stay by the river Humber in England and long for you. Okay, and there here it is written Gangas is a river, and Humber is also river. Okay, now next line, I would love you 10 years before the flood, it means bar in Hindi, and you should if you please refuse till the conversions of the Jews. In this line, it says, I would love you even before the biblical flood, and you could decline accepting me until the end of time. It says, I would love you even before the biblical flood, and you could delay accepting me until the end of time. Okay, because we had a time, endless time, but now we don't have a time. Next line, my vegetable love should grow vaster than empires and more slow. It means my love would grow slowly and naturally like a plant, becoming bigger than empires. Vegetable love, which means organic steady growth. In next line, he says he would spend mm, spend like 100 years praising her eyes, 200 years admiring each breast, 30,000 years on the rest of her body. This exaggeration shows timeless devotions. In next line, for lady, you deserve this state, nor would I love at a lower rate. The speaker says, you deserve such grand, slow admirations, praising. I wouldn't love you less than this. Um, Second sessions in the reality of time and that the speaker says, but at my back I always hear time's wind and chariot hurry near. It means time is chasing us quickly, that is approaching. Time is immersed as a winged chariot. Next line, and yonder all before us lie deserts of vast eternity, which means ahead of us is endless eternity. That Next line, thy beauty shall no more be found, nor in thy marvel fault shall sound my echoing song, which means after that your beauty will disappear in the tomb, and I won't be able to praise you. And next line, then worms shall try that long preserved virginity, and your quaint honor turn to dust. It means in the grave, worms will destroy your virginity, your honor will become dust. This is a shocking imaginary mean to pursue her. Next line, the grave's fine and private place, but none, I think, do their embrace, which means the grave is quiet. Grave means uh, um, curve. Grave means cover in Hindi. Cover, the grave is a quiet and private, but no one can make love there. The says grave is a quiet, peaceful solex place and private too, but unable to make a love for there. And next line, now therefore, while the youthful hue sits on the skin like a morning dew, while you are still young and fresh, it means that you are, your skin is fresh, you young. And next line, and while thy willing soul transpires at every pore with instant fires, which means while you are passionate and alive. Next line, now let us spot us while we may, and now like around amorous birds of prey. It means let us enjoy ourselves now like a passionate words, like a words do they do, how do they make a love completely passionately way. Next line, rather at once our time devour than Langulus in his slow chapter power. Let us use up time actively rather than letting time slowly and destroy us. Next line, let us roll all our strength and all our sweetness up into a one ball and tear our pleasure with the rough strife though the iron gates of life, which means let us combine our passion and break through life's obstacles. Next line, thus though we cannot make our sun stand still, yet we will make him run, which means we cannot stop time, but by living fully we can make time feel faster and meaningful. Okay. Um if we talk about this poem themes or summary, then I think I can give you the glimpse of the summary. about this poem. As before, I told you, it is a metaphysical poem in which the speaker tries to pursue a woman he loves to stop declining and return his love before time runs out. The poem is written as a logical argument and is divided into three main parts. Three parts. If if there were unlimited time in the first part, the speaker says that if they had unlimited time and life, he would not mind her shyness, coyness. He claims he would patiently admire her beauty for hundreds or even thousands of years, praising her eyes, forehead, breast, and heart slowly and respectfully. In this imaginary world, her refused would not be a problem because time would not matter. And second paragraph talk about the reality of time, and that in the second part the tone becomes serious and dark. The speaker reminds her that the time is moving fast and that is unavoidable. He uses the image of a time's winged chariot to show how quickly life passes. After that, beauty, leave, and desire will disappear, and the grave will be a place of silence, not romance. This part stress that youth and life are temporary, so waiting too long is a pointless. And uh, third stanza, life and love is in the present. In the final part, the speaker urges his mistresses to enjoy love now while they are young and full of energy. He encourages her to seize the moment instead of wasting time. Although they can't stop time, they can make the most of it by living passionately, fully. The idea is a carpet a deem sees the day. Overall, if I talk about the meaning of overall, the poem argues that because life is a short, time is a powerful, and people should not delay love and happiness through imaginations, fear of that, and urgency. The speaker tries to convince his beloved to respond to his love now rather than later. And if I talk about this poem's style and literary device, then there are so many literary device. First is a metaphysical conceits like vegetable love, times, chariots, and hyperbole like exaggerations of years. And third is a vivid imaginary warmth, grew kind of, and the last dramatic monologue like enough for talk about the conclusions. To his quiet mysteries is one of the finest examples of metaphysical poetry. Marvel cleverly Cunning combines romance, rumor, fear of that, and the logically reasoning to pursue his beloved to embrace love before time runs out. The poem moves from imaginary reality actions, making it a powerful and dramatic carpe diem poem. Okay, now in this guide we have a critical appreciations. Marble is the best Marvel is the best known through this poem. It is love poem in which a lover appeals to his beloved to relax her rigid attitude of puritanical reluctance to grant him sexual favor. The lover here puts up his case vehemenities with the equally solid argument. The lover builds up really a strong case in his favor and support it with the argument that no sensible woman can reject it. The beginning of the poem strikes with these keynotes. If only they were not subject to the inexorable laws of space and time, they could play out the fantasy of a love which slowly expands over the face of the earth like an empire, and which lasts right through human history from Noah's flood to the empire, and which lasts right through human history from Noah's floods to to the second coming of chariots, harlots by the conversions of the Jew. Such fantasy are among the devices human art has invented to cope imaginative, imaginatively. Fantasy are among the devices human arts has invented to cope imaginatively with the facts of time and moralities. This poem represents a metaphysical conceit in a pictorial way. The lover is talking of his love in a very fantastic and unrealistic way. Had we enough time and space at our disposal, we should have done this. This is really very funny. Moreover, lover says that he would love his mistress from a time 10 years before the flood, and would spend hundreds and thousands of years in admiring and adoring her. Various parts of body is nothing but a metaphysical conceit. The poet has drawn a realistic picture of time's winged chariot moving fast towards eternity without a break, and it serves as a warning to the lovers to seize the opportunity. There is another example of metaphysical conceit where in the concluding stanza, where the mystery's willing soul is depicted as a giving out instant fires at every pore, and the lovers are directions all their giving out instant fires at every pore, and lovers are directing all their efforts and energies to produce a sort of rolling fire while enduring their pleasures with rough step through the iron gates of life. Here we see metaphysical concepts all over. The poet is witty and thus present his ideas, so the whole poem is marked by metaphysical conceit, and a strike of irony runs through it. The lover is making fun of his mistress' coyness. If the lover had enough time, and the beloved may not agree till the conversion of the Jew, or witty and ironical remarks. Lover also speak of his vegetable love growing faster than empires. The way lover is admiring the beauty of his beloved, and would spend hundreds and thousands of years admire her charm. That is another instance of wit. Marvel's versifications puts the feelings of dissolutions, the epigraphic forces of this line, and the reflections on the horrors of Tom which follow. It could be paralleled in many of Donald's lyrics. Marvel treats the themes more lightly. In fact, he is more concerned with death as a means of frightening his mysteries, as a contrast to the final sessions of the poem, where he again invites his beloved to play a vital and dynamic role as a lover. Moreover, here we find love full of passions and vitalities contrast with the coldness and silence of Tom, where the only movement is that of warmth. So there is a contrast pictures of dualness and monotony of a passive life in one-sided. There is a contrast picture of dualness and monotony of passive life in one-sided. There is a contrast picture of dualness and monotony of a passive life is in one side. On one side, there is a contrast picture of dualness and monotony of a passive life. Is in one side, and the other movement is that of rolling ball that bores the hardest door of life. Okay, the idea behind this poem being young is a classical. It has also being the subjects of lyric poetry of some poets like Ben Jonson's song Come and My Celia, let us prove marbles to his coy mysteries is of course the results of his direct deriving the theme of the Latin poet through with a differences. Marvel is original no more than one way. He is original in its details as well as the treatment of the subject. Here, the treatment of the theme of time is both witty and imaginative. Moreover, he is original in his exuberant hyperbolic attitude about the time and space. When ancient poets handled the topic of carp diem and carp flora, they pointed to the contrast between the returning seasons, the returning sun and moon, and the unreturning leaves of a man, and they wrote with an undulated pathos and seriousness, even with the solemnity. But it was certainly English poet who expanded and varied this and other traditions topic with the witty, elaborate, and sometimes positive, hilarious ingenuity of Marvel in this poem. Marvel has given his personal experience in this poem without loss into a conscious play with the literary traditions. The altered status of love in the 17th century invites not moral decisions but placing. Thus, love poetry lost much of its dynamic character, became a realizations of the way things are with us. It is haunted art because it balances the one prospect against the other and holds both in play by way of heightening our apprehensions of how far love is bound by time. There was in Marble Age a heightened apprehensions of where our world and we stand in time. Reading nature or right, one may in the present age get a glimpse of a original state. The 17th century efforts to see things as they really are was a search for the condition of our lost Eden, an attempt to explore how we can accept the way things occur to us at the same time with us in the society. That's all about this video. So thank you.